Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. So are you surprised with the title of today's video? If you are not, I guess you're not because you're already here. So let's talk about it. This is the OnePlus Nord CE 5G and I've been using it for more than 4 weeks now, in fact almost close to 1 month, and there are actually a couple of reasons why I actually still recommend this device to my friends. Now by now, you probably have already seen a couple of videos, maybe a lot of videos, where everyone is just saying that the OnePlus Nord CE is having some problems, it's not a good buy, there are other devices out there that are more cheaper or affordable than this device. But please hear me out. I personally have used this for, like I said, almost a month now, and this is my experience and why I think it's a pretty good recommend. Let's go. First up, let's talk a little bit about the price. Now the OnePlus Nord CE 5G is going for RM1399 here in Malaysia, and that's approximately about US $330. And to be honest, it's quite affordable at this price point if you do not compare it to like Xiaomi, Poco or Realme. I mean, it's actually quite reasonable. However, if you compare it to brands like Samsung, Oppo, Vivo, and even Huawei and Honor and all that, then this device here is actually comparatively cheaper based on a spec-by-spec perspective. So that's the price. I don't want to talk too much about the specifications and all that, but next thing we're going to check out here is actually the design. Now, having used the OnePlus Nord CE for almost 1 month now, I'm going to tell you that I absolutely love the slimness of this device. So these days, phones are naturally getting a bit thicker, they're getting a bit wider, a bit longer to fit those large displays and huge batteries. But thankfully with the OnePlus Nord CE 5G right here, I really appreciate the fact that it is so slim and does contain a decent pack of battery at the back. And yeah, the design actually kind of grew on me. I like the fact that it looks like the previous OnePlus Nord, very simplistic and slim. Now, going on to the next point here, we're going to talk a little bit about the display. So the OnePlus Nord CE 5G here has a really good display, and what I mean by that is that it comes with nice colors, great contrast levels, and very good brightness, especially when you are viewing your device outdoors. So that's very good for day-to-day use and for most use cases. However, I must say that the only thing missing on this device right here is probably a higher refresh rate display. So what we have on the OnePlus Nord CE currently is a 90Hz refresh rate display, and yes, obviously that is pretty good. I mean, it is okay if you are coming from a 60Hz refresh rate display, but having been used to like 120Hz, I really wanted to feel that fluid AMOLED display, and with 90Hz, I think it's a little bit of a short for this particular display right here. But having said that, I definitely really enjoy watching movies, playing games and all that on this device right here. So no issues with the display at all. Moving on to the next point, let's talk a little bit about power. Now again, whether or not you think the OnePlus Nord CE is underpowered really depends on how you look at the competition. So if you're pointing it directly against devices like the Poco F3 that cost the same, or even the Poco X3 Pro that costs a full 500 ringgit cheaper, and that's approximately about more than $100 US, this device, the OnePlus Nord CE here, will definitely feel underpowered. So by context, the Poco X3 Pro comes with a Snapdragon 860 that is actually 30% more powerful in terms of benchmarks, and especially so in the graphics section where it really affects your gaming performance. But having said so, the Snapdragon 750 on the OnePlus Nord CE here is not a slow or poor processor by any means. Day-to-day activities such as browsing your social media, internet, and even light gaming actually works pretty well. It isn't slow at all. In fact, the entire user experience is much better on the OnePlus Nord because of Oxygen OS, which keeps the UI very lightweight, free of bloat, and more importantly, free of advertisements. So it's the best UI in my opinion out there, and this is the one that I prefer on all Android devices right now. Where you see the OnePlus Nord CE start to stutter slightly is in gaming with high graphics settings. So this is where the Snapdragon 750 actually loses out to its competition. Another section that's really lacking in a OnePlus Nord CE here that affects user experience is in the haptics. So the OnePlus Nord CE here comes with the kind of vibration feedback that you usually get on budget phones. That is, it feels a bit sluggish and definitely not the fast, short, kind of tiny haptic feedbacks that you see on other devices in the market. So that's really what you can expect with the experience on the OnePlus Nord CE. It's not bad, it's not great, it's not the fastest, but it's definitely very much usable for day-to-day activities. Right, moving on to the cameras. I don't understand how everyone is just saying that OnePlus phones comes with bad or poor camera setups. To me, the camera on the OnePlus Nord CE is actually pretty good both in day and night. And again, if you compare it to any of the Poco X3 or F3 for that matter, the Nord CE here is definitely much better in terms of actual detail captured and image quality. So having said all that, I think based on today's standards, if you take a look at the cameras these days, it's really down to your personal preference on how you prefer your photos. Do you want it to be more brighter? Do you want it to be more saturated? Everyone has got their own preference, but here are a couple of shots I took with the OnePlus Nord CE, and it really was okay for me. I didn't feel that it was lacking that much in any department right there. So now, moving on to the next point, let's talk a little bit about the speakers here. Now, the OnePlus Nord CE comes with obviously just one single firing speaker, but it sounds loud and clear. It's not the kind of teeny kind of sounds that you would hear from, like, you know, really cheap phones out there. It's a decent speaker. No doubt it is a single speaker, so obviously the speaker is pointed downwards, and I have to position my hand like in a cupping sort of motion to try and actually direct the sound back to where I'm actually facing right here. And this is especially so when I watch videos, long videos for that matter, so I have to do that motion. And of course, the OnePlus Nord CE will definitely benefit from a stereo speaker setup, and hopefully this is what we will get in the next Nord or whatever it is going to be called in the future. Moving on to my last point here, and that is about the battery life. So battery life on the OnePlus Nord CE has been great. Over the past 1 month, it never struggled to get me on one full day on a single charge. So my only concern here is with the charging speeds, which is fast from 0 to 70%, but it takes quite a fair bit amount of time to get all the way to 100%. So from 0 to 100%, it takes about 80 minutes, which is definitely way past 1 hour and nothing like the warp speeds that you would expect. But having said that, the charging, although it's not that fast, perhaps it is actually helping to prolong the battery lifespan. So that might actually be a good thing for you as well. So after close to 1 month of using the OnePlus Nord, funny but I might say this, but again it comes down to how you look at the price of the OnePlus Nord CE. If you're the general crowd who always compares pricing to the Poco, Xiaomi, or even Realme for that matter, yes, I'll never be able to convince you that this is actually a pretty good device right here. However, if you appreciate and accept the OnePlus Nord CE for what it is, and also look at all the other competitions in the market like Huawei, Honor, and even other brands, Oppo for that matter, I think this might actually be something that I'd still recommend to my friends. Alright guys, that's it for this particular video right here. Thank you so much for watching this OnePlus Nord CE full 1 month review video. Just so you know, this video wasn't sponsored by anybody. It wasn't paid by OnePlus. It's just my personal experience after actually using this device here for 1 month. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to see more videos like this, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe everybody. Bye!